Hello, all wonderful horse lovers out there in the world. My name is Larissa Simon. I'm the founder of the Horse Inspiration Academy, and I've just decided this morning that I want to start a podcast and to doing my podcast in English. I'm actually native German speaker, so there will be some issues about the language at times. I probably will be getting stuck. But my English also is, I think, good enough because I decided to not do it in German because that will keep me from reaching out to you guys out there who are English speaking. So my work with horses is about finding a way of being very, very aware and conscious about what, in fact, the horses are mirroring to us. And throughout the last 20 years that I'm actually working with horses, the complexity of this topic is getting more and more complex as I see what actually horses are doing with us in terms of how they react to us is not being explained easily. So I just would like to start by giving an insight about my own story, which started actually pretty magical. So when I was about 28, my journey with the horses actually started. I also had horses as a kid, as a young girl, but I always was afraid of them. So I didn't really get connected to them in the first round. And when I reconnected when I was 28, I had quite a life-changing experience with one of my stallions, because I bought two Andalusian stallions, completely crazy, because I am actually a little bit crazy, living outside of the 9 dots for a long time now. So, of course, buying 2 stallions at that time that I did that, I didn't know much about really how to be with horses. I had many problems, and one of my stallions, I named him Neo, a really beautiful white stallion, long mane, the fairy tale horse. Well, he gave me the most of fear and anxiety I think that I ever had connected with a horse. And of course, this meant that he was my biggest, greatest teacher. And so fact was that I didn't get together with this beautiful horse, which caused me a lot of pain. Of course, there was a huge desire to get connected to this beautiful being. And one day when I was riding, more or less riding, it was actually a catastrophe. But so here's the story. It was a cold winter night in Germany, and I was riding in a riding hall. That was not very romantic, but this is true. Like, there was a full moon at this day. It was already dark, nobody there. And this horse, he was quite a wild guy. And also it was one of these horses, that got spooked easily. So he without my guidance, which I couldn't give him, he would actually be scared of anything, everything. And maybe some of you know this thing. Well, there's one corner in the riding hall where all the lions and tigers live, which is not which you cannot discuss with your horse because your horse thinks This is a fact, okay? So this was exactly how this whole thing went. So this corner, there were all these lions and tigers, and I didn't have any control over this horse. And actually, truth is that meanwhile, I was already completely now English word is missing. It was horrible. It was a horrible situation. I really felt a lot of distress and anxiety, and I didn't know how to continue with the horse, but I also didn't want to kind of, sell him and give up. But I was close to giving up, actually. And then suddenly, I think I just stood there, sitting on him, not knowing what to do. At least, if he was standing still, it was... we both could handle it. And then suddenly I had a vision, and retrospectively spoken, it really was a vision that changed my life. So I saw a woman on a horse, on a white horse. And she was actually coming towards me. Of course, she was absolutely stunningly beautiful, of course. Now, and her horse as well. So she was riding without saddle, without bridle. Her horse was just this amazing, lively, sparkling, beautiful creature. So, of course, what I saw was an archetype. Okay, like putting a little bit of analysis in here already, but and now this woman and this horse that I saw, I didn't only see them; they actually had a message for me. And so I looked at her, and she looked at me, and she said two things. First of all, she said, look at me, and this look at me, there didn't only come words, underneath these words, these three words, look at me. I heard her say also, like, don't only look at me like superficially, really start to look in a way that you see way more than just the surface of what you see. So look deeper. And then she said only one more word. She said, and connect. And when she said this word, there was also underneath this word, there was a whole world of of understanding. Okay, what does it actually mean to connect? So, and then at some point, the vision ended and she went away. And so at this time, I think that I was actually still somebody who really, really believed that dreams can come true in the midst of complete failure. And so what I did was I thought, well, she said, look at me. And then I thought, you know what? I saw a woman on a horse without saddle, without bridle. And specifically, I noticed the body posture. She was actually how she was sitting on her horse. And what I did, and I actually really am, in a way, I'm grateful to myself, that one could say that, well, how naive is she, But what I did was I took the saddle off. By that time, I've never been riding without a saddle. But I took it off. I didn't dare to take the bridle off yet. And so I just climbed back on my horse, sitting on him for the first time without a saddle, and just imitating the body posture that I saw how this woman was sitting on her horse. And that just absolutely, in the same, like in this present moment, changed my life, my whole beingness with horses. Because what I felt for the first time when I was kind of imitating this beautiful lady, what I probably felt for the first time was myself on the horse, my female beauty, power, my dignity, you know. So now, of course, when this happened and I got to feel this new kind of me on the horse, being somebody self-confident, being somebody in my power, being somebody who is not afraid, you know, who's connected, who's trusting, who has also a trust in life and in the being that is underneath me. So trusting my horse, because this was the last thing I did. No, I didn't trust him. I was always afraid that falling down because that this was a moment of initiation. You know, it initiated my path. And of course, in those 2 seconds or maybe 2 minutes that I felt this new beingness, of course, it didn't solve all my problems. In fact, there was a path, the path started, and it's 8 years later, 8 years later, that I finally got connected with my beautiful stallion. By that time, so I got him when he was 4.5. So when he was in his mid, 12, 13, 14 years, we finally found the connection with each other. Because my path, like finding all of these things inside myself, you know, trust, my self-confidence as a woman, my dignity, all this thing, of course, was a process. It was not like, okay, from one minute to the other. And so this is how Horse Inspiration Academy got created. This is how all what I do, all my teachings, all my courses, my path with horses and people and humans got created. So for this episode, I'm now gonna press the stop button and want to go further in the next episode, talking about some of the themes and topics that I'm going through with people in my Horse Inspiration Academy. Have a wonderful day.